If I wanted to lose weight in 2026, I would not start by eating less. I would not start by exercising more. And I would definitely not start another restrictive diet, even though that's exactly what most people are going to do. I'm Dr. Anna, your Med Diet Doc. I'm a medical doctor with a background in nutrition, and over the last few years, I've helped more than 30,000 people online lose weight using a fun and easy Mediterranean approach. And what I've learned is this: most people don't fail at weight loss because they're lazy. They fail because they start in the wrong place. And in this video, I am going to show you the number one trap that almost everybody falls into when they're trying to lose weight. And we'll talk about why that trap nearly guarantees weight regain. And I'll tell you what I would do instead, especially if I were over age 50. Now, real quick before we dive in, if you want to learn the exact approach that I personally use with my patients to help them lose weight and keep it off, I'll be teaching this step by step in an upcoming free live webinar. It's easy, it's practical, and it's specifically designed for adults who want results without destroying their metabolism. You can register at the link below this video. Okay, so let's now talk about what most people are getting wrong, and I call this the core trap. You see, when people decide that it's finally time to lose weight, they almost always fall into what I call this eat less and move more trap. And you've probably heard some advice like this before. So here's how it usually goes. People aggressively start by slashing calories at all ends. They often end up skipping meals. They cut out entire food groups or food categories, and they end up walking around hungry all day long, believing that discomfort means that their plan is working. And then, as if the calorie deficit wasn't already stressful enough on your mental health and on your body, they suddenly crank up their physical activity to the max. And then what this looks like is that a lot of people are going from doing absolutely no exercise at all to now exercising intensely almost every single day and often getting injured. Now, at first, the body will try to keep up with this, and you might even see the scale move if you are engaging in activities like this. You might even feel motivated and proud of yourself and super pumped. But unfortunately, very quickly, days, weeks, or even a few months later, the crash will come. Your energy collapses, your hunger skyrockets, and at some point, the motivation will disappear. It's very predictable. And the first moment of stress, exhaustion, or just emotional overwhelm that you deal with will send you straight back into your old habits, and that's what leads to that rapid weight regain. Now, let's talk about why this actually happens and why it's not even your fault, because this is the part that nobody explains to you. If this is happening to you, no, your body is not failing you. Your body's actually trying to protect you. You see, when you stop giving your body balanced, sustainable nutrition, your body actually senses danger. It starts to think, energy is really scarce. My environment is not safe. So it starts responding exactly how it was designed to respond. What it does is it slows down or revs down your metabolism to try to conserve energy and fuel. What does this actually look like? It's going to prevent your body from trying to burn a lot of fat. Hunger hormones then start to increase because you're trying to preserve energy. So your body's going to be giving you so many signals to say, hey, we need to acquire energy, not burn it right now. You will have drives in things like your ghrelin hormone. That's the hormone that stimulates hunger, and it pushes you to eat more. Thus, your energy levels will drop to prevent further calorie burns. And so what this can look like is that cravings can intensify, hunger pangs feel more intense, especially for those fast, dense sources of energy. In other words, very high calorie foods. So if you think about this, for sure, it's pretty clear this is not a willpower issue. This is your human biology doing its job. And this is exactly why extreme or ultra restrictive dieting almost always leads to a fast weight regain at some point. So let's reframe this because we want to do this smarter, right? So if I were somebody trying to lose weight in 2026, I would not be asking myself, how can I just eat less and move more? Instead, I'd ask a better and smarter question. Something like, how do I nourish my body in a way that makes fat loss possible without triggering survival mode? That is the real question here that we want to be answering. And I will tell you, the answer is definitely not another restrictive diet. It is a system. So if you want me to walk you through the entire system as I lay it out, step by step, from the foods to the meals to the habits that will lock in long-term weight loss, I teach all of this in an upcoming free live webinar. Again, no pressure. There's no tricks here. I'm just trying to give you guys the tools you really need to actually see success, because it is my commitment in my career to help as many people as possible get an understanding of what really works in the body that doesn't put them in the danger zone. The link for that free live webinar is below this video, so don't forget to grab your spot, because the spots are limited for that. Okay, so now let me show you what I would focus on instead. If I were just starting out and I'm trying to do weight loss, this is where I would start. Let's start with what we're actually eating. So the first thing to do is we got to clean up what I like to think of as the food quality of our diet. This is what I teach my patients all the time in my clinical practice. You can think of this very simply in 3 broad categories. We have good foods, we have bad foods, and what I like to call the gray zone foods. No, I'm not waving my finger at any specific type of food. It's more the category of the foods that they're in. So what are good foods in general? Well, these are real, whole, nutrient-dense foods. These are things that often come directly from nature, from a plant or an animal. They often help us keep our calories in check, they keep our energy stable, they reduce our cravings, and they improve things like blood sugar control. Why? Because the signals that nutrients have, so vitamins, minerals, things like protein and fiber, those are signals to the body to tell the brain when it needs to eat and when it needs to stop eating. So those give our brain the proper signaling to regulate our appetite. And so most cravings are not character flaws on your part if you're dealing with those. Again, they are biological responses to an unhealthy environment that your body is in, whether it's an environment of stress, that could be physical stress, like you haven't eaten enough, or it can be psychological stress too. And so our body's always just giving us signals and trying to support us getting back to a place of stability and a place of health. So if you remove all of these tricky signals, things that are not nutrient-dense foods, well, everything becomes a lot easier for you. So thinking then, the second category of food, what are the opposite of these good foods? Well, these are going to be the bad foods. These are those really ultra-processed foods that are doing the opposite of what the good foods are giving us. Instead of telling our brain the correct signals, they're actually disrupting the correct signals and tricking our brain. This is why some people think of eating a lot of sugary foods as actually an addiction. And I have to tell you, I kind of see this behavior play out in a lot of my patients. We talk about it all the time. That food noise that's always chattering in the back of your mind, reminding you to go get that really sugary drink or that really sugary snack or that really salty, fatty food. Yeah, that's a big distraction. And it's all because we have signaling imbalances that are going in and out of our body all the time. And then we have our gray zone foods. It's somewhere in between, where these are foods that have some of these signaling confusers for our body, but at the same time, there's something nutrient dense about it. So if you start to understand how to think about your food quality, everything gets a lot better. So now that brings us to step number 2. If we are trying to lose weight and we're just starting out, we can start to learn how to actually build a meal. And this is the big one, guys. Everybody zones in on all the individual foods, but I have to tell you, the more important thing is how you put your foods together and how you're actually eating your meals. And this is what most people don't realize. Healthy foods are not enough. No, you cannot just focus on eating enough bananas or oats or enough eggs or enough protein powder. You have to think about balance. Because if you only ate, for example, avocados all day long, every single day, yeah, you'd actually be overloaded in fat, you'd be low in protein, and nutritionally unbalanced, even though avocados are super healthy for us. If you also only ate fruit, or you only ate vegetables, or you only ate meat, and yes, some of you watching this have seen some other kinds of content online where there are these ultra-restrictive diets telling you that whole categories of food are bad for you. And I'm here to tell you, all natural foods are not inherently bad for us. It's that we have to think about this in a totally different way. So if you only ate one type of a thing, let's say it was fruit, yeah, you'd be spiking your blood sugar all day long, and then you'd be feeling crashes, and you'd be feeling horrible and fatigued and brain fog and etc. So no, that doesn't make fruit bad for you. It just means you obviously have to eat other things too. This is why instead I like to teach an approach of very balanced eating that is rooted in creating a balanced meal, something that I like to call the perfect meal formula. So this is the perfect meal formula: protein, fiber, healthy fats, and some natural flavorings, things like herbs and spices. If you can build a meal in this way, you're going to make eating for health, eating for weight loss, so much simpler for yourself. When you do this, your hunger stabilizes, your cravings can decrease, your energy will become more steady. Fat loss actually gets easier for your body because you're feeding your metabolism, and metabolism is what drives your ability to actually burn fat. This is the foundation of sustainable weight loss. So that then brings us to step number 3. And this is where we have to relearn our hunger and our fullness signals. So I kind of alluded to this at the beginning of this video. You see, most people end up gaining weight for often one of 2 reasons. They're eating when they're not actually hungry, when they're not truly hungry, or they're eating when they are hungry, but they can't stop when they're full. And a lot of people realize, okay, this is where the calories in, calories out thing kind of comes into play. Totally. But it's not so simple because we need to check in with our body to understand what our signals are actually doing for our behavior, right? So we need to learn how to pause and ask ourselves, is what I'm feeling true hunger? Am I actually thirsty? Am I bored? Am I stressed or angry or anxious? Am I tired? When you start to understand the real signals that are going on inside of your brain that are telling your stomach, hey, something's up, you're going to have so much better control over the situation. Then eating does not have to be stressful anymore. It won't be chaotic. It'll become intuitive. That's the goal. So if I were starting to lose weight and entering into this, the 4th thing I would think about is actually nothing to do with the eating. It's all about movement. So obviously, this is not going to shock anybody. Everybody knows it's all about diet and exercise, right? Well, we have to think about this in the correct way. Movement is not just about hitting the gym. We have to frame this so that our body understands where we are going to support the fat burning aspect of movement. So movement obviously matters, but again, it's not just for burning calories. The real goal of movement is actually to preserve our metabolism and our muscle mass. Now, a lot of people realize that, oh, I've heard that walking a lot is really good for fat burning. Yes. And why is that? Because it's a way for your body to burn energy or use up energy without stimulating a lot of stress in the body. Now, the other side of this is that we want to target the organ of our body that actually controls our metabolism, and that is muscle tissue. Now, muscle protects and really is in charge of our metabolism, our blood sugar regulation. In a practical sense, it's also our independence and our long-term health, especially as we get older. This is why we need to focus on consistent, realistic movement, not workouts that burn us out and punish us, that leave us so fatigued at the end of that 90-minute push that we're just couch potatoes the rest of the day. We want to stimulate muscle growth. We want to have continuous movement, and a combination of exercises is usually the way to go. That brings us then to our 5th step. If I were trying to lose weight this year, I would be thinking about trying to reduce my stress. This is another thing that I've really touched on at different points throughout this video. When our body is in a state of stress, it is going to make fat loss and weight loss, as a lot of people are thinking about it, so much harder because stress tells our body there's danger out there. We need to conserve energy. And the way we conserve energy is we retain fat. We try to build up fat tissue. This is all rooted back in biology and evolution. And so most weight regain doesn't actually happen at the table. I argue that process starts when we're stressed out, exhausted, overwhelmed, underslept, moody. That's when our cravings hit. That's when our decisions fall apart. That's when we kind of succumb to bad habits and we feel like we lose control. So think about this. A way to target it is to think, how am I going to maximize the quality of the sleep that I get? How am I going to maximize the quality of the connections I have with myself and with other people? And how am I going to remind myself of the importance of enjoyment in life, having fun, taking it easy, relaxing, decreasing that stress level? These are not luxuries, guys. These are actually key components of a weight loss protocol. And so we need to think about how they play into the whole picture because remember, these are biological necessities. We have to be able to bring our stress level down. And there's a lot of stuff that can stress us out in life. So then the problem, you might realize, was really never that you didn't try hard enough. If you're struggling with losing weight, the problem may have been the system that you were given in the first place. And that is why, if I were starting weight loss at the beginning of this year, I really wouldn't be chasing any extremes. I would do all of my effort to rebuild that foundation of health, stimulate our metabolism, try to build a system for ourselves that makes it easy for your body to burn fat. Because remember, when the body feels safe, it'll stop fighting against you. Now, if this video has been helpful to you, you are starting to see weight loss differently, if hopefully this has opened your eyes to a different type of a perspective, I'd like you to please hit that like button and even subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed, because this type of material is unfortunately not understood well enough, and more people really deserve to understand how this works for them so that we can all help each other make this new year the best year ever. Now, I want you to tell me in the comments below, if you've tried to lose weight before, what's the first thing that you did? Did you start by getting rid of food from your pantry? Did you start by downloading a calorie tracking app? Did you start by signing up for the gym? Share in the comments below, because I guarantee you there are several people watching this video who probably had similar experiences, and it's very helpful to all of you, and I hear from you all the time, to hear about each other's experiences and get support. That is what this is all about. And then after you write your comment below, don't forget to grab your seat for our upcoming free webinar so that you can learn this entire system of how you can start to lose weight. And then after you do that, jump into my next video up here where I'm going to keep your learning going to make weight loss easier than ever for you. Jump over into that video and I'll see you in there.